Namaste. Myself Triveni Khurana, Assistant Professor, Faculty of Physiotherapy and Diagnostics, JVM, Rajasthan. Today we are going to discuss about contrast bath or hot and cold immersion. Contrast bath is a convenient, easy to apply thermal treatment modality in the treatment of peripheral areas in physiotherapy clinic for over 70 years. It is a method of application which involves soaking the area to be treated in alternating baths of hot and cold water. Contrast bath combines alternating hot and cold water application to increase blood flow and to decrease joint stiffness. Now, what is the physiological mechanism of contrast bath? A hot bath produces vasodilation in our body. Vasodilation is dilation or expansion of blood vessels, thereby increase in blood flow. Cold bath produces vasoconstriction, which is constriction of a blood vessel resulting in decreased blood flow. That means a hot bath increases the blood flow to the exposed body part and cold decreases the blood flow. So, when the body part is exposed to alternate warm or cold temperatures, it produces alternate vasodilation and vasoconstriction, resulting in a pumping effect to facilitate the removal of edema. Contrast bath can be used to alleviate pain, stiffness and edema. Now we are moving towards the benefits of contrast bath. These are: the alternating hot and cold dilates and contracts the blood vessels, bringing fresh blood supply to the area being treated. The blood cells that fight infection, that is, the white blood cells, are increased in number and activity. The waste products produced by enhanced activity of WBCs are removed by improved circulation. The regular change in temperature also leads to considerable change in the sensory stimulus. This strong sensory stimulus acts to suppress pain by means of pain gate mechanism and accounts for suppression of pain. It can also significantly improve muscle recovery following exercise by reducing levels of blood lactate concentration. Now, what are the various indications for contrast bath? These are infection, sprain, strain, bruise and arthritis, which are generally benefited by contrast bath. Contrast baths are used to treat hand, wrist, feet and ankle, and can also be used for elbows and knees if the container is large enough. Now, what are the equipments needed for using contrast bath? 2 containers large enough to accommodate the areas to be treated, that is hand or foot. 1 container is filled with cold water of 10 degree to 18 degree Celsius and another one is filled with hot water, which is 38 degree to 44 degrees Celsius. To test you for hot and cold discrimination test prior to treatment. Thermometer to check the temperature in the bath or tub. Now, what is the procedure? Always begin with the warm water and end with the warm water. Place part in the warm water for 10 minutes. Then move the part around through the full pain-free range of motion. Then remove and place immediately in cold water for 1 minute. There will be an initial short period of tingling until the part becomes accustomed to the cold. Then continue alternating parts in hot water for 4 minutes and cold water for 1 minute. Keep adding ice and hot water as needed to maintain the proper water temperature in the 2 tubs. After the final cold or hot treatment, dry the part thoroughly. This treatment should be given once or twice daily. Let us summarize the procedure. First, soak in warm water for 10 minutes. then in cold water for 1 minute, then warm water for 4 minutes, then cold water for 1 minute, then warm water for 4 minutes, then cold water for 1 minute, again in the warm water for 4 minutes, making a total time of approximately 25 minutes. Now there are some rules that are to be considered for a contrast bath as follows. Always use a thermometer to check the bath temperature. Always treat larger area than is injured. Example, a sprained ankle should have the water nearly up to the mid-foot. Always start with the hot water and end with the cold, except when the treating arthritis or if the patient is menstruating or if massage of the part is to follow the treatment. If any of these three situations exist, the hot water should be used last. Next is the precautions related to contrast bath, and the precautions should be taken in the conditions such as open wounds, as new granulation tissue is sensitive to heat, cold and pressure and may not be able to withstand heat or cold application. However, heat may enhance circulation to the area once the wound is closed. Skin sensation must be intact to administer heat or cold. Next is, in the case of pregnancy, precautions must be taken as heat may be beneficial. However, it should not be applied over a pregnant uterus as it may increase the circulation to the fetus and the effects of this have not been studied. Next, precaution should be taken in advanced age as if the patient has intact sensation and is reliable, then the application of heat or cold may be indicated. However, if the pain has fragile skin that doesn't blanch under the pressure, they may not be able to adapt to the increased temperature from application of heat. Next, precautions should be taken in menstruation. Heat applied to the lower back over the pelvis of a female during menses may increase menstrual flow. If she is prepared for this, then the application might be indicated depending on the signs and symptoms of the physical therapy diagnosis. Next condition which is under the precaution, it is impaired cognitive ability. If patient can communicate sensation of heat, cold and pain in some meaningful way, then they may have applied. However, these patients should be monitored closely. And the last precaution is with previous experience with physical agent. If a patient has had a poor response to the application of a thermal agent in the past, they may be less receptive to trying it again. However, it is important that the clinician educate the patient and explain the potential benefits of any modality before it is applied. Now let's discuss about contraindications related to contrast bath. First is pregnancy, especially first trimester, as heat should not be applied directly over a pregnant uterus as it may increase the circulation to the fetus, and this has not been studied for safety in humans. Second contraindication is for undressed or infected wounds. This infection must be cultured and treated first. The wound must be covered to prevent cross-contamination. Next contraindication is pacemaker. If the pacemaker is a demand pacemaker, then only precautions are necessary. Application of heat in patients with non-demand type pacemaker may cause undue stress on the cardiac musculature. Next contraindication is metastasis. Heat applied directly over or proximal to a metastasis will increase circulation to the area and may enhance the disease progression. Next contraindication is fever. Heat applied to an area actively involved in the inflammatory process will result in an increase in circulation to that area and potentially increase edema. Next contraindication is in acute inflammation. Heat applied to an area actively involved in the inflammatory process will result in an increase in the circulation to that area and potentially increases edema. Next contraindication is acute hemorrhage, as heat applied to an area actively involved in inflammatory process will result in an increase in circulation to that area and potentially increases bleeding. Next contraindication is peripheral vascular disease, as heat applied to an area with compromised ability to maintain homeostasis may result in increased pain perception and other complications. Next contraindication is lack of sensation. The safety of heat application relies on the ability of the patient to report changes in sensation to prevent a burn. Thank you.